One of the members of the seats you referred to, the member for Curtin's going to join me shortly. No doubt got some thoughts on that particular issue, but I want to ask you about the jobs number. Zoe McKenzie, are we seeing here with this jobs number down for May, is it the soft landing possible for the economy?
Look, the figures are all over the place. We know we've had 5 quarters now of negative growth on a per capita basis. So the economy is slowing down. The economy is weak. 4% unemployment still means there's pressure on the RBA to be managing inflation. We're not getting inflation down like the rest of the developed world is, so pressure remains on rates. If you're already paying $25,000 more in your mortgage, you're already paying 22% more for your eggs, 23% more for your cereal, 18% more for your electricity, 25% more for your gas. None of this is particularly good news. People need to be in work. People need to get those jobs because they need to be able to pay the bills. The bills are not going down. They keep going in the wrong direction for the average Australian.
And we are seeing a situation, Josh Burns, where there are increasingly many more working poor.
Well, that's why we've put such a big effort into getting wages moving, KG, and the Liberal Party has opposed each and every measure that we have put forward to get wages lifted. They said it was going to end the country. The whole world was going to collapse if the minimum wage increased, and it hasn't. It's meant that people who are working hard have a little bit more at the end of the week. We obviously want to see people in good paying jobs, and we want to see people in jobs. And I think the numbers today are encouraging that there have been an increase in the number of jobs in our economy to the tune of a net number of over 30,000. That's a really important figure. It means 30,000 more than 30,000 Australians are back in the workforce. Unemployment at a 4 is a really healthy amount. Obviously, the economy and the economic growth is something that the Reserve Bank will look at when making their decisions. Yeah. But the fact that we have managed the budget in a responsible way, we have delivered 2 surpluses, or we're in the process of delivering the second. The Liberal Party did not do that in their 9 long years of governing. We've exercised prudence, but also ensured that where we can give people cost of living relief to get through these difficult times and hopefully see the other side back when inflation is at a far more normal level. We want to see people being able to afford the things that they need, live safely and securely, and that's what we're working towards to ensure that they can keep more of what they earn.
We've only got about a minute left. I do want to get both your thoughts on this shift to the right in Europe, in France, a country you know well, Zoe, where you're looking at the prospect of a 28-year-old Prime Minister potentially in France.
Yeah, well, they do have a 34-year-old Prime Minister now in France. But what's interesting as well is that Macron came out last night and gave a 90-minute press conference in which he said, you know what, forget the extreme right, forget the extreme left. This is a choice about the sensible centre. So really recasting the political debate, not as one between left and right anymore, but between what you might call a responsible parties of government class and then the rest. So it's going to be a very interesting election in a month's time.
And Josh, it is cost of living again, number one issue, and obviously migration, things like that. But it's still a universal issue right now across the globe. Cost of living pressures.
Well, we are seeing a major political party in Australia move towards the far right. Peter Dutton's refusal to have credible climate policy, to have lower migration and blame all of the problems in society on migration, to real big pivots towards the far right. So I think it's not just happening in Europe, it's also happening here in Australia. And if we want moderate, sensible governance, then we can't look towards Peter Dutton.